Hello everyone and welcome to SUNUP. I'm Lyndall Stout. Oklahoma's canola crop is adapting to all the rain we've seen in the past couple of weeks, and in some areas may actually be flowering again. We caught up with our extension canola specialist Josh Bushong to see how all this moisture will impact the crop in these last few weeks leading up to harvest.
Well, for the past few weeks, the canola crop's really shifted into high gear more or less. With these recent rains, it's kind of been able to fill some of those pods that we set early on. The seed set's been pretty well, so we're able to get a full raceme of pods and seeds, so that's definitely going to impact our yields. We still kind of have some thinner stands out there, so we got to give those stands a little bit more time for those secondary branches to fill in that canopy. But for the most part, the canola has really been benefited from these late rains, so we're able to recuperate some of that yield that we thought we weren't going to be able to get at first. But for the most part, kind of southwest Oklahoma, Kingfisher and south, the crop's pretty much done flowering, so it's starting to firm up on the seeds a little bit. As we get into north central Oklahoma, where we're a little bit more drought stressed, the crop kind of started to reflower, rebloom after these recent rains, so we might have some issues closer to harvest on which crop to go after, either that first crop or second crop. Hopefully we can get both of them in the bin, but we'll just have to play it by ear and see how the crop progresses with these recent rains.
Talk about the reflowering and sort of what prompts the plant to do that given certain conditions.
Canola is kind of special in that it's kind of indeterminate growth habit. If it's given the opportunity and it's able to, it's going to start to regrow. So like in particular north central Oklahoma, Pond Creek area, where we're severely drought stressed like we were last year, the crop's going to produce what it can with what moisture and resources it has, but once it gets some more water, more rain, it's going to try to grow again because it knows it can do more. So some years that can be a blessing on the reblooming. Some years it kind of is a hindrance. If that first crop is definitely better than that second crop, we'll have issues with all that green material closer to harvest. So it can be a blessing in disguise, and it can be a hindrance too. So
just kind of depends on the year, and I'm sure it depends on the field. Any issues with insects this time of year?
We're still finding some turnip and green peach and cabbage aphids out there. The diamondback moth larva is still here and there. At first they were chewing on the flower buds, which was going to impact our yield pretty heavily, but so far with these recent rains and the natural predators, ladybugs, and we also seen some aphid mummies out there, so we have the beneficials working in our favor. And with these recent rains, the populations for the most part have been held at a low enough level that they haven't reached that economical threshold to spray. We do have some guys that have been spraying past few weeks. Their fields are for the most part staying clean, but some have repopulated. The aphids have kind of resurged, and they might have to spray again closer to harvest. Some other insects that we're looking at or keep an eye out for would be the variegated cutworm and false chinch bugs. Those typically come from here to harvest. So we'll get out there and scout the best we can and make sure those insects are kept at bay if need to be. Variegated cutworm can be a pretty big impact on yield pretty quick, so we have to keep a watchful eye out on that. But for the most part, our insect populations have been kind of maintaining for the most part and haven't really bloomed more, so to speak. So.
Okay, and then as we move full speed toward harvest, you and the team are holding Canola Harvest Clinics. Talk about those and what you cover, and there's still a couple left, right?
Yeah, we're about halfway through of the 7 tours. We still have 2 more in Oklahoma. Canton's on May 12th. Pond Creek is going to be on May 14th. The Great Plains Canola Association and Oklahoma State University kind of put a joint event together, talk about canola harvesting, staging the canola crop, know when to swath or when to terminate with the desiccant, and then how to set the combines up. So it's kind of we start out inside, go over some PowerPoints and kind of what to do, what not to do type things, and then we get some hands-on experience, have some field equipment there to look at too. So spend about 2.5 hours. For the most part, it's interactive with the producers. It's kind of an informal event. We strive for that back and forth conversations with them, see what they're thinking about, and see where they need to be to get this crop harvested.
Okay, sounds terrific. And for anybody who's interested, they can contact their extension educator or canola website?
Yeah, the canola.okstate.edu. We have some information on there for the harvest clinics, as well as they can contact their county educator and they'll give them all the information they need as far as the start times and the actual locations. So information's at the county educator or online. So.
And then finally, when does the rain need to stop in terms of harvest time?
Well,
we don't ever really want to say we want the rain to stop,
yeah,
but
we never want the rain to stop, so we always try to watch ourselves and not curse it too much. But it actually helps the canola stay mild temperatures. We're able to fill those seeds, get a little bit higher oil content, which is a grading factor this year for some oil processors. So if we can get it to dry out a little bit so we can get it swathed, and then if it can continue to rain after we swath up till we're ready to pick it up is the best scenario. We'll just have to play it by ear, but if we do get some summer annuals starting to grow and have some weed competition and have some issues at harvest, we'll definitely have to terminate the crop if it keeps raining. Either terminate it with a swather or a desiccant. So the guys that were looking at straight cutting it, if we keep getting rains, more than likely there's going to be too much green material out there. Either canola keeps flowering or the weeds take over. So.
Okay, Josh Bushong, thanks a lot. We'll see you again soon. And for more information on those canola clinics, you can again contact your county extension educator or go to sunup.okstate.edu.